got another Mach Speed unboxing today. We've got a brand new exciting one that came out. Well, actually two. We've got the Grave Digger and the Son-uva Digger models from Losi. This is their new LMT four-wheel drive monster truck, Monster Jam style trucks from Horizon Hobby. This is a big solid axle monster truck that's incorporated 3S compatible brushless power system, big vertical side plates. This thing is designed for all out bashing tricks, as far as, taking back flips and front flips and big jumps, just like you see the real Monster Jam trucks doing. And we can't wait to get inside this thing and show you what it's all about. We'll go through it like we always do. Stay tuned. All right, so with the lid off, you see we've got some of the protective shrink wrap on it to keep the body from getting scraped up during transit. So we'll take that off. And in the back here, this slides out and you've got your radio system and manual in here. Now, the manual has got some 4 AA batteries in it. You've got an extra battery strap. These battery straps are actually made of a rubber composite. They've got extra body mounts for it if you wanted to do a clip-on body mount system. So they do give you some additional parts to make changes to it if you wanted to run a different body or something like that. And there's your manual. Radios right here. Okay, so what we have here is your new Spectrum DX3. This is radio that they're throwing in a lot of the new vehicles. It does have some of the smart capabilities. So you've got the ability to adjust your AVC rate there, your braking rate, your steering trim, and your throttle trim. You've got your normal steering and throttle reversing functions. You've got your throttle limit. The power button is on the end here, and then you've got your smart battery level indicator right there too. So as long as you're using smart batteries that have the telemetry, you'll also have the ability to see where your battery is while you're running the truck. Now, I'm starting to warn everybody on these new vehicles here with these radios. The bind button is right here on the side. You guys can see it right there. So I've had several guys that they'll pick it up and they'll hold it like this when they go to, depress the power button on the end there. And what you do is you actually unbind and clear the bind code in the radio and put it into a new binding situation. So you don't want to do that. So be sure you're not pressing that bind button while you're turning it on, so you don't have to crack the end of the receiver and go through that whole bind process again. So just a little quick reminder there to prevent you guys some extra trouble. In the bottom of the radio here, you'll see it just needs 4 AA batteries, which are actually supplied by Losi. One of the few companies that does that, but most of the Losi vehicles already have some AA's there for you, so you don't have to make an extra trip to the hardware store. So the truck here is packed in with some side bolsters that lock into the tires to make sure this thing doesn't hop around in the box. It's very secure. We're going to lay the camera down for just a second so we can get this thing out of the box. Okay, so out of the box, big imposing vehicle. This thing is really big and oversized for a monster truck, or for a 10th scale, I guess I should say. It's definitely imposing. You can kind of see it compared to an 8 scale buggy. It's considerably bigger. It's got these gigantic monster truck tires with a really deep tread, extremely deep dish. It's really good feeling rubber. It really has some good firmness to it. Doesn't feel like that should distort much. It gives you enough flexibility in the sidewall to get good traction, but the tread, the face of the tread itself is fairly firm, so that's cool. I'm really thinking they're trying to consider the fact of putting this much power on a monster truck. You don't want that to bow out and balloon like like you see so many of these overpowered trucks. The graphics on the body are fantastic. They are a true representation of the real truck. I got the graphics on the side and the top there. Got an awesome little wheelie bar here. It's actually a full roller in the back instead of two wheels to break off. So you've got a screw going directly through that, acting as an axle. So these are really strong. They're attached directly to the ladder frame or the twin vertical plate frames. Really well braced up, and this is very beefy right here. Looking at more of the scale stuff up front, you know, you've got the full grill here. The headlights, really cool looking, some blue headlights, and you can see the wiring in there. They actually do work, so that's really cool. And you see this massively braced front axle and rear axle. You've got this big metal gear servo, the S614S, with an integrated steering servo saver right here in the very front. One of the things I noticed too with these is the high quality shocks and the sway bar system as well. So I want to show you guys. They've also hidden the clips. They're here underneath on either side. See if you can see those right there, and you just pull those out. There's two right here in the front, and there's also some here on the sides on either side. Let's find them. All right, so once you have those four out, this just flips up. So you have extremely easy access to the inside. If you had to work on the pilot figure here or the roll cage, you know, that's another cool feature. The integrated roll cage holds the body. You've got extra protection for that body if you land on it. So that's really cool. And then once you're in it, you can see this really nice heavy duty sway bar system. It's aluminum and steel with a plastic downlink here. You've got a nice sealed radio box here. You've got your smart speed control. These use your IC5 gold plated connectors. There's new smart connectors there. You'll see that they use a bleeder style head on the shock, which is really cool. If you ever need to refill it, you can fill these up perfectly that way. Bleed the shocks, get all the air out of the shocks so they work perfectly. Full aluminum threaded body shocks with, you do have a bump stop damper at the bottom too. So if they ever bottom out, it's not just hitting plastic or metal down there. It's got a little extra padding at the bottom. And you'll see the steering system here is extremely beefy. Your hub system on this is really stout. You've actually got real steel universal joints there. So they haven't skimped on it. It's not plastic. And like I was saying, man, these straight axles are beefy. They are some tough looking axles. Right there, you'll see the Spectrum Firma motor there. This one here is a 3150 kV, so you got a pretty good RPM motor there. And you can also see, you know, throughout you've got this big, huge vertical plate chassis, very strong. There's twin vertical plates, one on either side. Your transmission kind of feeds into, your motor feeds into this, what I would kind of call a drop box here, and goes down to your drive system. I'm going to try to flip this guy over so you guys can see it. So you've got these really thick composite drive shafts. These look to be about the same gauges they're using on their big Super Baja Ray 6 scale trucks. So I don't doubt that these will handle the torque that you put out. And it actually does have metal universals front and back. You'll see them right there on the front and the rear. You also have extremely thick adjustable 4-link connections as well. They're steel top and bottom, or excuse me, they're aluminum top and bottom, very thick gauge. So the thing is, front to back, man, this thing is made to take an absolute beating. Now, something I did notice here, your little out drives here it supplies extras of these in the box in case you do split one of these. But you can feel that the composite that they're using on this is really strong. So I don't anticipate those really breaking, but it's cool that they actually thought about, okay, so if you take a huge jump and you do manage to split one, well, we got some backups for you guys, and we include them for free. So that's really a good thought from Losi. Now, and I'll show you here, we recommend using the Spectrum Smart batteries here. The 5003S is the maximum that they recommend, and you just grab the back of your, this is a little hard to get to back here, but it's not too bad. Just drop your battery in that tray, and then take your little rubber strap and push it back down. That would really be about the only gripe I've got so far, would be that it is a little hard to get that latch back there, especially one-handed operating the phone too. Let's see if it's easier to grab from the bottom. This might be one of those things where you grab it from the bottom and pull down. Okay, so it's on there, but I will say that's a little bit of work. They do have another strap in the box with it, so I'd almost be willing to bet that may be a little bit longer strap for a thicker battery. It may have just been supplied with the 2 cells, so a longer strap would definitely allow a 3 cell to go in there a little bit easier. So before I do this, we're going to go ahead and go over to the radio. And like I said, don't grab that bind button. Just press the power button on. Okay. Let's plug her in. And then right here on your switch, you got a power switch, and you also have a setup button. Don't want to press those both at the same time unless you want to run into your setup menus. So unless you know what you're doing there are instructions for that in the manual, but I wouldn't recommend you pressing that. Just press your power button and she'll turn on. Of course, you'll hear the initialization of the ESC. You'll hear it count out the cell count, and then the single beep for all ready to go. I just put in a battery straight out of the box, so you're seeing the indicator is showing it being on, a little under halfway charged. So that's your storage mode, but that's really cool, showing you where your batteries are while you're running. And I want to just kind of try out this new servo here in the front, see how it does. Seems to have pretty positive control. Doesn't seem too lacking. Of course, I know the hardcore guys are probably going to want to throw a even stouter servo on there. Spectrum does offer those. If you want to put something like a 500 ounce inch servo or something like that and really yank these wheels around quickly, you can do that. But this one, right out of the box, plenty of power to do what you need it to do. So that's really cool. Last thing I wanted to do, kind of show you how much this thing weighs. So we're going to get out my trusty ancient scale here. You can barely read the dial, but trust me, this thing here, once you calibrate it, is dead on. Let's zero it out. Let's see just how much this thing weighs, because I have a feeling this thing's going to have some pretty good weight. Alright, got it balanced on there. Alright, almost exactly 12 pounds. It's just a hair under, so with a 3S battery in it, you can expect this thing to be rolling out around 11 pounds and 14 ounces. So, by no means a lightweight. This thing's got some real beef to it. You guys are going to love it, just like I love doing these videos for y'all. So, if If you guys enjoy what you're seeing here, you like to be educated on all the new stuff coming out and like to know when we have stuff in stock, just be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you get notified every time we have new videos come out. You guys have a great day, and come see us today at Mach Speed Hobbies. Grab one of these. We have them in stock. We also have the Grave Digger as well. Thanks, guys.